I've gone through my scraps and I've gotten a block of translucent, and what I'm doing here is just rolling them out before they go into my pasta machine. So you never want to take that big chunk of clay and go straight to the pasta machine with it. You've got to use something like an acrylic roller to flatten it out a little bit first and get your clay moving. If you go straight to the machine with clay that's hard and not conditioned and too thick, you mess up the gears on your pasta roller. So always get it started this way first. I've rolled out all of these pieces of clay that have translucent in them to a number 3 on my pasta machine. And I've selected some other stuff. So I have a sheet of simple sheets, and this is a variegated leafing product. You can get this at createalong.com in a pack of 7 different colors, so you have lots to try from. So this is the variegated blue, and I thought it goes well with the color scheme that I have here. So what this is it's like a gold leaf, but it's attached to the backing sheet, so it's not flying all over the place. It's going to be easy for me to apply it. I'll just explain what I've got going on here. So I set up this sheet on a tile. This is my background. When I take my slices off the Mokume, it's going on here. I have my flexible blade because that's what I'm going to need to slice off the Mokume slices. I have my sheets of clay. I have some cutters. This is what I'm going to use to make patterns and impressions. I have a sheet of deli wrap because when I do the patterns with cutters, I kind of like to use deli wrap. You'll see why. Okay, and then I also have, this is just a chunk of the leftover this color, okay? And I conditioned it and got it ready to move. I'm gonna need this and I'll show you why in a few minutes. And then the rest of these are more or less the same size and shape. So we're gonna start with a color. You just have to go with it. Pick a color to put on the bottom. So I'll pick the pink. And I'm not gonna put foil between every layer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wait. I'm gonna go this pink, then I'm gonna go with something contrasty. So I'll go this purple. And then another contrasty color. So I'll use this robin's egg blue. Doesn't matter that these clays have inclusions and glitter and whatever in them because of the pattern that we're seeking to create. So now I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of this leaf down. And we rub this onto the clay and it will stick. Now I've done this in the past. If you look way back in Polymer Clay TV YouTube archives from the beginning, you'll see that I did this once with many, many colors of alcohol ink in translucent. And I put the gold leaf between every single layer. And that is its own kind of look. So I'm looking to release this from its background as I pull the paper off. See, there we go. And in places along the edge, I just want it to break off. So now I've got the rest of this for later. I'll just put this to the side. And I'm gonna keep stacking. So I had a blue there. Let's go with another pink color. And another blue. And some more of this leaf. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold, so I know that I've got some chokiness going on. All right, so we're gonna get more of this to attach itself to this layer of clay. with this glittery purple. And finally, I think I might do another layer of this. Here we go. As I get closer to the top, I know that I'm going to see more of this gold leaf. And you'll understand when I start cutting into it what I mean by that. So if you have any scraps lying around, now's the time. You can pick them up, move them around, make sure you've got coverage where you want coverage. Anywhere it's not directly on the clay, it's not going to stay because it needs something to stick to. So you can rub on it and rub it around and get it to release itself from where it's not stuck and get itself stuck, okay? And then our last color is gonna be this. I'm not gonna worry, maybe I'll just do this over here just to cover it up so that I have some more area to work with. None of this matters terribly much. I'm gonna move this away. Okay, and get my blade so I can release this because it's pretty tightly stuck onto the background here. So we want to release it so we can work with it. Now I can see here I have that area is just not really gonna work. I can use this in the background and you'll see. Okay. So here we go. This is the back, this is the front. None of that truly matters because this technique is awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna put this, I think I'm gonna do this way first. This is the back, and I'm gonna get another tool. This is my Extreme Smooth and Sculpt tool. It is a stainless tool with a rounded end here. And I'm gonna make some depressions on the back of the clay, like this. And then I'm gonna take this and fill them in. So then what happens is if I cut all the way back into these, all the way down into these depressions from the front side, you will see this little pattern in the divots. And on these extra 3 here, I'm just gonna put this clay that I already prepared. Like that, okay? And then I might choose, and remember, I'm still on the back side. I'm not even on the front yet. And because of the direction that I press, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the clay and do some more of this fun pressing from the back. And I'll fill all of these in with this purple glittery color. This is just like my prep work. You don't have to do it this way. I feel that if I don't do the back end, what happens is you get to a certain point on the front side where you stop seeing lots of fun patterns happening. So this is my prep for the back so that as I cut into my slab, there's always something kind of fun, interesting, and unexpected happening in my pattern. So now I'm going to flip it over and play with the front side. And for that, I'm going to use this and my cutters to make patterns. So I'm going to go ahead and press this in. For this deep press, I like to use my acrylic pressing tool and just shove that cutter in there, as if I were cutting the clay, but I'm not. The reason the deli wrap works for this is because it makes it so that my cutter doesn't get all stuck in the clay. That's all. Just makes it easier. And now I'm going to press this together. Really all I've done here is start making patterns. So I'm going to press this together so that it's not all separated. I'm not trying to cut the clay. I'm just trying to press pattern into it. So I do want it to stay together. And then use my other cutter. And this time I'm going to overlap. And I don't have a lot going on the edges, so let's do some edge work. Okay, so just look at what's happening and keep pressing until you like how much you have going on and how much overlap you have. All right, and then maybe I'm seeing some things where I could make a manual improvement. And by that, I mean, I'm gonna take this same tool and in a spot where there's nothing, I'm gonna make a little impression. Okay, so now I feel pretty good about that. I'm gonna move everything out of my way and bring in my tile that is prepared for a background so I can show you how that works. I'm going to press this down to my tile so that it doesn't move so much when I start slicing it. And this is where the magic of Mokume Gane happens. When you take thin slices and you flip them over on this background. So because I had some different colors and I had leafing, gold leaf and stuff happening there, you can see swirly things happening. You can take small chunks or big ones. My top layer here has a lot of divots and cuts in it, so it's coming apart a little bit, and that's the challenge, is getting through those first couple of layers. Yeah, I hear you, Magic. That's my kitty cat. Outside the door, because she's not allowed in the studio where she jumps all over everything and gets her hair in all my stuff. But she hears me talking in here, so she says, "Why are you talking and you're not with me?" All right, so this is it. We're just gonna flip what we peel back from here over onto this background sheet. And you start seeing a pattern. You can make it as precise or imprecise as you like. I tend to really enjoy the magic of it just happening. This first layer, like I said, can be tough, especially, I don't know, because I like to make lots of marks and stuff in it, and then it comes apart little by little, so it's okay if it's bumpy over here. You're going to take care of that in the next step. What's really important to me is that I flip it over so that you see what happened with the gold leaf becomes revealed on this background sheet. You can also be much more deliberate about what colors you pick. I just went through my scrap pile and said, these colors look pretty and I'm just gonna use them. Some of them were just the ends of like bars of clay. Some of it is colors I had already mixed. This light purple had glitter in it, which is totally fine. The glitter bakes up with the clay. And that glitter is also available at Create Along. We have this beautiful selection of 70 colors of glitter that are clay, heat, and solvent safe, which means they work in your resins and your finishes, and you can bake them right in or on the clay. So you can turn your translucent clays into glitter clays if you are a glitter person, which I totally am. So now we're gonna start with some layering, and you're gonna start seeing those other colors starting to come up. That's the fun part, when they start revealing what's below this top layer and you start getting into what is really under there, right? And then you might say, well, I want more of that. So as I cut here, I'm gonna actually just put these off to the side. I can use them in something else because I'm looking now to get down to that pink. And so what I've done is I've taken all the rest of the scraps of the clays that I used for this and I rolled it out to number 3. I'm gonna put it here and I'll start working on another section of this at the same time so that I can decide where I want these colors to go as they come off. So now this just becomes a question of skill. As you start peeling back the layers, what do you want to see and how do you want to place this? As I start seeing this really fun stuff happening, I want to put this over here because I want to see it. I want some of that pink over here. And I might keep it whole, or I might mix it up and pull it apart. Just depends on what comes. You see, I really like this stuff that's happening with the gold leaf there, so I might just keep this one over here. And this is how you end up working on more than one slab at a time, because you actually are going to have lots and lots of clay from doing this. So you can take a look at either side and decide where you want to put it. The clay is translucent too, so don't forget as we roll this out, because we're not going to just leave it like this. As we roll it out, we're going to thin it, and you're going to see into the layers more. And now my goal is to just start covering all the background. So that I have a nice big slab over here when I'm done. Now, if you cut deeply, see now we're starting to get to one of those places where that dark color is going to show through. Love it. All right. Okay, so let's see what happens when we take this and roll it. So we'll set this aside, gather up these little scraps that have fallen off and just stick them over here. Get the acrylic roller and start flattening this out. Right now, I'm kind of just melding them together, because next step is taking it to the pasta machine. And that's where we'll really create a flat slab. Look at that. Now, as you roll it flatter, you'll see the areas where you revealed some of the gold leaf, and it starts to crackle a little bit and shine. Beautiful. You can take this technique as far as you want. What I would do now is stop with this piece, cut out some things I want to use for jewelry, and create a new background sheet and keep going, because this is still quite thick, got a lot left going on in there. There's definitely more colors to reveal and more patterns. As I get closer to the background where I shoved these things in there, you're gonna see more of those divots and things popping up. There are so many ways to do Mokume Gane, but this is probably the easiest way to get started. Have fun!